Hi there, my name is Catherine, and in case you don't know, I'm the founder of Femtech Insider. And as part of Femtech TV, every once in a while, I get to chat to founders in our space and people that are really shaking and hopefully not so much breaking things in the world of Femtech and sex tech. And today I'm joined by Heng, the founder of the Della HQ. Karen, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited.
Yeah, so I actually have a bit of a past. And I lived in Southeast Asia for a while, so was very excited to find out about your project, the Della HQ, and how you're looking to kind of raise awareness for sex tech and femtech in the Southeast Asia region. And I'd love to find out a little bit more. So maybe to kick us off, can you tell me a little bit about the project, about the Della HQ? And also about yourself. How did everything get started?
So let's go from the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a serial entrepreneur, so I've always liked to start things. I like have big ideas, big ambitions. Most of my ideas actually have failed, so I'm a bit, I'm okay with failing, making mistakes. But I think everything that I've learned from all these failures have sort of come together to the Della HQ. And the Della HQ actually started because I was looking for a way to drive traffic to a brand of vibrators that I wanted to sell online in Singapore. And before, then I went through the whole production manufacturing phase until after I had all the vibrators, I realized that you couldn't really do any ads on Facebook and Instagram, which I actually should have known before in doing research, but I didn't. So I built the Della HQ as a way to drive traffic to that site. And it's actually working out pretty well. It's sort of taken a life of its own. I've left the vibrators on the back burner now. I'll get back to it, when the Dell HQ has sort of stabilized and whatnot. And then I realized that I guess in Singapore or even maybe around the world, there really isn't sort of a platform that brings together stories about sexual wellness, stories about people who are in the sexual wellness business. And I really like finding out about how other people got started as well. So on the website, on the content platform, I do a female founder series where I talk to other female founders, actually specifically female founders, because I'm female, I'm a founder. I really like to learn about their stories and their struggles as well. Maybe it'll inspire me. And to help raise awareness, especially in Singapore, about sexual wellness, actually we have recently did a call out for a kind of secret reviewers club, where we gather a bunch of reviewers and ask them to tell us what their profile, what the demographic, what the age is, and then we will approach brands and products in Singapore who want people to do reviews, because maybe sometimes it isn't really easy trying to seed your products to people. So that's that.
So what's the sex tech and femtech scene like in Singapore and maybe even beyond in Southeast Asia?
In Singapore specifically, I think this year there has been a rise, I think maybe it's just coincidental, of online sexual health services. So I know of 3 specifically. And 2 of them also offer birth control pills, which is in Singapore something that you have to visit the doctor for. So it's not over the counter. And I've done that before myself, and it's truly embarrassing. Everyone's staring at you, you're young, you go, you don't really know what to do. You sit in the doctor's office and you're like, answering these questions just to get the pill, So I think these services really help. Sexual wellness, sex tech per se, there actually has been a rise, I think, this year in sex toys. So Singapore is a funny place because there is a main shopping street on Singapore where there's a pretty iconic shopping center. And on the ground floor, there is a sex shop openly selling sex toys. But then in general, nobody really talks about sexual wellness. So there's sort of that kind of, I guess, seedy-ish impression of that sex shop, although that really has now changed. So there is in the main shopping street as well, there is a shop that brings in, I think they have Lilo, Womanizer, We Vibe, and the shop is well lit. The service staff, the people working there, they're very knowledgeable, they're really friendly. So I think the impression of sex toys actually is changing a lot. And also a few online shops that have come up as well, selling sex toys in Singapore.
And beyond Singapore, is that, so do you cover these other regions with the Della? I know it's also sort of on the, it's not necessarily, the sex toy is actually forbidden in a lot of the sort of countries that surround Singapore. Like, do you talk, are there things happening sort of underground, or sort of what's your observation of the rest of Southeast Asia beyond Singapore?
I feel like, so I have actually spoken to a Singapore brand who is trying to go into Indonesia. And also they themselves are not really sure of the legalities and regulations surrounding importing sex toys into Indonesia.
Yeah.
So I don't have any personal experience actually with around the region in Southeast Asia, because I haven't really been able to find a prominent brand that's out of these countries. But I have spoken actually to a couple of people in India. And in India specifically, from my experience speaking with them, is that there is sort of a rising wave of wanting to change sex education in India. So that's true.
Yeah. When you look at sort of the journey that you've had with Della, sort of what are some of the things that you've learned along the way, maybe about running a business, running a content business like this, but maybe also just as, you know, I mean, you obviously you've started projects or businesses before, but sort of in terms of about entrepreneurship, sort of what learnings has your work with the Della HQ brought into your life?
I think because it is a industry that you cannot do any advertising for, I've really never done so much content before in my life in such a short period of time. And I think the challenge really is trying to see what sort of content really resonates with the audience in Singapore. And I feel like there is sort of a kind of hunger to want to learn more. It's just maybe there is not so many people talking about it. But I feel that when you do start to talk about it, people aren't as shy as, you know, media makes them out to be, probably. So I think it's really exciting. We had a really good response for people who want to be reviewers for the products. And also in requesting for interviews with brands and with female founders, like everyone has been super receptive. And I think truly for Singapore, I'm really happy that people want to even talk and read about this stuff. So entrepreneurial is difficult. I mean, every day I have like this, I feel good about my business. I feel horrible. Nothing's going to work. Everything's going to work. So it's really a roller coaster every day, I think, no matter what kind of business you're trying to start.
Yeah, no, totally. So you have actually started a new initiative right now to maybe make that roller coaster a little less for other female founders or founders in the femtech and sex space. So you've recently announced a new initiative called Race with Della. Maybe you want to talk a little bit about sort of what to expect from that.
So Race with Della is a rewards-based crowdfunding platform based in Singapore, exclusively for female founders of sexual wellness companies. So as long as your founding team is 50% female, we would love to invite you onto the crowdfunding platform. I think that it will go live early next year. So we're starting in Singapore, obviously, but we might have already two campaigns that will come onto the platform in Singapore, and it's really for any stage of the business. So I really want to sort of cut through that, can I say crap?
Cut through the noise.
Cut through the noise of presenting to, sometimes it's really stressful presenting to boards, presenting to VC firms. And I don't feel like that way of raising capital really resonates with sexual wellness products, because you want to really speak to the public, the person who is going to be eventually using your product. So the platform, I think, gives a way for female founders to do that at any stage of their business. So it could be raising just small amounts of, $3,000 to $200,000 if you need. but we will give the campaigner any amount that they raise. So even if they choose, even if they don't reach their stated goal.
Cool. So yeah, that's probably going to be keeping you quite busy in 2021.
Yes, I hope so.
Yeah. Are there any other projects in the pipeline maybe that you can already talk about, or is that sort of really the big thing that you're kind of bringing to the Della HQ community next year?
So I've been told many times to rein in my dreams, but one other thing that we are planning is an awards for Southeast Asia for sexual wellness. So we actually, I hope to be able to have all of that in place, hopefully by March next year. I think I know of one that is asking for applications in February. I think they're called the Femmies.
Yes.
By Femtech Media.
Yeah.
So I just saw that as well. And so, I mean, I think it's really exciting that people around the world are really just raising noise about sexual wellness.
Yeah, totally. Cool. So the awards show, the crowdfunding platform, and your new reviewer kind of group or community. So tons going on. Huh?
A lot going on.
Yeah. Well, maybe a last question. When you look at kind of the trends that you see, like obviously I know you look at the sexual wellness space on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So what are some kind of trends that you are excited about, or that you see in the sexual wellness space?
I think, I'm really excited to see how creative people can get about sex education, sexual wellness. I mean, like TikTok accounts, Instagram accounts. I feel like these are actually have become the places where people go to get real sex education, because I mean, real schools, it's not their focus. They're really not doing, I guess they're really doing the absolute minimum on that. So that's something I'm really excited to see, like if that sort of creativity would go into government schools and schools.
That's such a good point, because you also sort of meet the young people where they're at anyways, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, because schools progress and they evolve, generation through generation. And I feel like this is something that can really be exciting for schools to have.
Awesome. Karen, thank you so much for being with me today. And I learned a lot, and we'll of course put links to the Della HQ and all other projects that you're working on in the description.
Thank you so much. Thank you.